Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kibicho YouTube channel. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that God has been good up to this time and things are moving on well, and all the honor and glory be unto God. And this particular afternoon, I want first of all to thank God for the far that He has brought us, and over and above all for the gift of life. I want to share with you a few things. Yesterday, I got a chance of being the preacher at PCA Umoja Church, and I wanted to share a few things with you yesterday, but because of other matters that arose, I wasn't able to do that. And it is important that we appreciate that God is God, and God has got good plans for all of us. You need to ask yourself a few questions before I plunge into what we call the sermon that I had yesterday, and I thought it was good for us to share. Because I believe most of you people watching me today, wherever you are, you have got what we call your aspirations in life. We all have dreams, we all have goals in life. But unless we commit our goals unto God, unless we commit ourselves fully unto God, unless we appreciate that this far the Lord has been with us, unless we appreciate that there's some conditionalities that must be met by each of us, we won't go far. And that is why yesterday, and I want to thank my Reverend most sincerely, Reverend Felix Moreithi, for the honor that he bestowed upon me to be the preacher yesterday of 3 services in our church at PCA Umoja. I am a born-again Christian. I don't hide that, and I want to thank God. I'm not perfect because the Bible says that if we say we don't have sins, truth is not part of us. And therefore, I know I'm a sinner, and I always pray for God to forgive me my sins, because as I walk through this journey, there are so many challenges, there's so many temptations, there's so many things that may affect my steadfastness in following the commandments of the Lord. So yesterday, as I've told you, our first reading came from the book of Exodus chapter 34, verses 24 to 30. And our second reading came from the book of Ephesians chapter 3, verses 17 to 21. And the reading words came from the book of First Chronicles. The reading words came from the book of First Chronicles chapter 4, verses 10. And it said, Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you'd bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your heart be with me and keep me from harm, so that I'll be free from pain." And God granted his request. And you need to know and God granted his request. So why was Jabez's territories expanded? It is because of a number of things that I'm going to mention here with you today. Now, and the theme of my sermon yesterday was establishing the standards of having our tents enlarged. Establishing the standards of having our tents enlarged. What is it that God expects from us? What is God's expectation out of us, so that we may have our territories expanded? Some of us people, we have had problems with our finances. Others have had problems with their spouses, with their marriages, with their children, with their relatives, with their friends, with their bosses. So we need to ask ourselves, what is it that we need to do so that the blessings of God can be upon us? And the standards you set to yourself are a reflection of you. Your motives and how far you are willing to go to get where you want is purely determined by the standards that you have set for yourself. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, standards are important. And I want to mention a few things that makes people understand how important standards are in life. If you happen to hear the national anthem of the Republic of Kenya being played, we all know it is in our bloodstream that we must stand up and stand at attention. So we have to stand attention because the song of the national anthem of the Republic of Kenya has been sung. So that's a standard. We know no one smokes in church. That's a standard. In the Presbyterian church, if you find somebody leading prayers, you don't enter into that particular congregation until the prayers are over. Those are the standards. If you happen to be on traffic and you find what we call the red arbor, you know that one tells you to stop, and the green tells you to move. Those are the standards. You know for sure that anytime the president comes closer to you, you know where to put your heart. Those are the standards. So even God himself has got standards. In order for us people to go beyond the limit, in order for us people to break the ceiling, we must observe the standards the Lord has made, the Lord has set aside for all of us. And that is very, very important. And the Bible tells me that in the book of Psalms 24, verses 3 to 5, who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? It is he that comes with clean hands, with a pure heart, and who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing of the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. So we know who should go before God. We know how we should approach the throne of God in order for us to get the blessings of the Lord. And therefore, we say a standard is an agreed upon level of achievement that stands alone. There can only be one standard in a given category of life. Note that there can